Welcome to Dr. P.C. Verma Economist YouTube economics class. Today we are discussing growth rate in India, that is economy, Indian economy. Why potential growth rate in India is 6.5% in 2024-25. This is being calculated on the basis of statistics data by great economist of India, C. Rangarajan and D.K. Srivastava. I have expressed his views in previous classes by explaining the importance of investment rate, incremental capital output ratio, then GFR, gross fixed capital formation, then ICOR, incremental capital output ratio, then falling saving in India. All the three articles were expressed the views of C. Rangarajan and D.K. Srivastava in previous classes. It was done because it is very essential to know before calculating potential growth rate that country must have a statistics, first of all, related to incremental capital output ratio. In order to find out India's potential growth, deciding what should be the rate, the statistics government should calculate, find the statistics, that is investment rate, along with incremental capital output ratio. We all know that an investment rate profile is the difference between nominal and real investment rates. So I have already done this in previous lecture, that what is the difference between the nominal investment and real investment rates. That is the first thing which C. Rangarajan and D.K. has calculated on the basis of statistics available in our country from 1991 to 2024-25. Thereafter, he suggested that you must have a statistics of saving, and what he finds out, the falling saving rate in India. Then comes to the condition about gross fixed capital formation. What is the present condition of gross fixed capital formation? Thereafter, another factor which is needed to calculate before getting the potential growth rate in India, that is ICOR, that is the incremental capital output ratio, must be calculated in order to find out the potential growth rate in India. All these things we have discussed in 3 chapters in previous days. Today we are focusing on the potential growth rate, which is 6.5. Why potential growth rate is 6.5? That is explained by C. Rangarajan and D.K. Srivastava, great economist and very, very experienced economist for a long period in our country. And so on the basis of statistics available, year-wise, he has calculated and calculated that ICOR 5.3%, actual real GFCF upon GDP ratio 33.7%, gives a potential growth of 6.4%. So after reading the previous article related to investment, related to saving, related to uh, ICOR, read it, and then finally come to the conclusion why potential growth rate in India is 6.5 in 2024-25 on the basis of statistics available in our country and presented by Honorable C. Rangarajan and Honorable D.K. Srivastava. This will be very, very easy for the students appearing in UPSC, in IAS and IFS, and officers grade examinations of RBI officers grade examination. State Bank PO examinations, IES, All India Economic Service, Bihar Public Service Commission, BPSC, financial service. Wherever you will go, the final round interview will come to this point that potential growth rate in India, how much, and how to be calculated. I am presenting the views of Honorable C. Rangarajan and Honorable D.K. Srivastava for the purpose of students to understand exact expression of the terminology in any interview board. Potential growth rate combining the ICOR, IC, combining the ICOR of 5.3 with the 2024 to 25 actual real actual real actual real GFCF GFCF divided by G divided by GDP. GDP GFCF, GF, CF divided by GDP, GDP. Ratio. Combining the ICOR of 5.3 with the 2024-25 actual real GFCF by GDP ratio. Of ratio of 33.7 percent gives a potential growth, gives potential growth rate, gives potential growth of 6.4%, 6.4 percent. We might consider a potential a potential real GDP. We might consider a potential real GDP growth rate close to 6.5%, close to 6.5 6.5% as feasible percent as as feasible in India's current context. In India's current context. We are discussing why potential growth rate in India is 6.5% in 2024-25. This is the views of C. Rangarajan and D.K. Srivastava, great economist of India. Potential growth rate, he defines that potential growth rate combining the ICOR of 5.3 with the 2024-25 actual real GFCF upon GDP of 33.7% gives a potential growth of 6.4%. We might consider a potential real GDP growth rate close to 6.5% as feasible in India's current context. Going forward, the situation will be comfortable. Will be comfortable if India, if India's real GFCF rate rises, to about 35%. A growth rate of 6.5% may look like lower than the performance in recent years. Recent years. But India's growth over a much over a much longer period is not is not above 6.5% in estimating potential growth in estimating potential growth potential growth we need to look at the performance at the performance in the past over an extended extended over an extended period. India's growth rate India's India's growth rate from 2011-12 to 2023-24 is 6.1%. Both on average on average basis and on the basis on the basis of CAGR CAGR However, this period however, this period contains the exceptional the exceptional year of 2020 21 affected by COVID. Some of the influences the influences that may affect the long term potential growth. Potential growth. On the positive side, on the positive side would include the impact the impact of changing technology. Changing technology, including AI and Gen AI. On the negative side, on the negative side, there would be the impact of growing share of capital consumption. Capital consumption as the capital stock becomes older and new technology technologies new technology call for replacement 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 of of old capital at a faster rate at a faster rate. These forces these forces may balance themselves themselves out outliving India's long-term potential growth close to 6.5%. In the world of today, in the in the world of today, this is this is a reasonable high growth rate. India has to reckon India has to reckon with also with also an unfavorable and unfavorable external environment. Against this backdrop of of such a potential India must draw India must draw up its plans its plans to achieve other objective like employment, like employment and social justice. Against this backdrop, of a long-term potential growth, India must draw up its plan to achieve other objectives like employment and social justice. Thus, we come to the conclusion that Honorable great economist C. Rangarajan and Dr. D.K. Srivastava actually potential growth rate is 6.5%. It is being calculated on the basis of combine the ICOR of 53 with the 2024-25 actual real GFCF upon GDP ratio of 33.7% gives a potential growth of 6.4%. We might consider a potential real GDP growth rate closer to 6.5% as feasible in India's current context. We have discussed in previous classes most important parts. Number one, investment rate in India. Number two, incremental capital output ratio. And these two factors are very much important in the calculation of potential growth rate. Therefore, in 3 classes, I have divided the discussions of Honorable C. Rangarajan and D.K. Srivastava. First, that what is investment rate in India? Second, what is incremental capital output ratio? In the 3rd class, I have taught ICOR, incremental capital output ratio. These are the feedback that on that basis, finally, C. Rangarajan has calculated combining the ICOR of 5.3 with the 2024-25 actual real GFCF upon GDP ratio of 33.7% gives the potential growth of 6.4%. We might consider a potential real GDP growth rate close to 6.5% as feasible in India's current context. Honorable C. Rangarajan has clearly mentioned that India has to reckon with also an unfavorable external environment. Against the background of such a potential, India must draw up its plans to achieve other objectives like employment and social justice. Honorable C. Rangarajan has particularly pointed out about the impact of changing technology, that is artificial intelligence and Gen artificial intelligence. These two must be kept in our long-term growth analysis. And the positive side would be to include the impact of changing of technology, including AI, artificial intelligence, and Gen AI. And on the negative side, he has pointed out that in India, there would be the impact of growing share of capital consumption as capital stock becomes older. And new technologies call for replacement of old capital at a fast rate. These forces may balance themselves out, leaving India's long-term potential growth close to 6.5%. So if we want to continue this 6.5% growth rate and above, then there must be change in the technology, new technology, that is AI and Gen AI. And particularly, Honorable C. Rangarajan emphasized that in India there should be need for replacement of old technologies and call for a replacement of old capital at a faster rate. Honorable C. Rangarajan further says that this is a negative side in Indian economy, that the impact of changing technology include AI and Gen AI. On the negative side, there would be the impact of growing share of capital consumption as the capital stock becomes older and new capital at a faster rate. These forces may balance themselves out, leaving India's long-term potential growth close to 6.5%. In the world of today, this is reasonable high growth rate. India has to reckon with also an unfavorable external environment, as we have seen war. Against the backdrop of such a potential, India must drop its plans to achieve other objectives like employment and social justice. Economic growth with improvement in technology and improvement in capital consumption, capital stock, new capital, old capital should be replaced by new capital, and this will lead to India close to 6.5% growth rate. And at the same time, against the backdrop of such a potential, India must draw up its plan to achieve objective like employment and social justice. Thank you for watching this video. This is most important part of your preparation because this is collected by great economist of India. And in any interview or in a written test, this content will be helpful to you to qualify in written test for IAS and allied services, Indian Economic Services, RBI officers grade examinations, anywhere economic growth is the most important part. Therefore, I have analyzed it in 3 classes. First, investing in in investment. Second, investing in uh, incremental first related to uh, investment rate. Second is incremental capital output ratio. Third is GFCF. Fourth is ICOR. These variables will be terminology which will help in discussion and writing answers in the examination for IAS, IES, RBI Officers Security Examination, Bihar, State BPSC, State Finance Service, and in any civil services, state level civil service examination, in written test, as well interview, this knowledge will helpful. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Dr. P.C. Verma, Professor of Economics. I'm teaching economics from 1973 to 2025. And therefore, I have seen UPSC at least three times in 50 years, 3 times changing the syllabus, changes in options of subject, etc. But nothing is important than studying real sense, original thoughts, original books, original contents. This will help you to discuss your answer in a very attractive way that will fetch more marks, and success will come to you by dint of your labor and practice of things. You must have to at least your vocabulary and thought to present to anyone in interview. This is very, very important part. No one will say you. I will say you because I'm teaching from 1973 to 2025 for Bihar students, and in Delhi also in Mukherjee Nagar. I had my center in near Batra House, Batra Cinema behind, on-sale building, commercial complex, economics academy. I also taught there in Rajendra Nagar, old Rajendra Nagar, just beside the Raj coaching, Khan sir coaching, not Bihar Khan sir, that is Delhi University Khan sir coaching, and thereafter PC were my economics academy. So during COVID period, I shifted to teach online, and I am 74 years old, and every day I take few classes for the purpose of the students who are struggling hard to attain desired job, desire to get their dream converted into reality. Thank you for watching this video. Like it, share it, subscribe it.